Hi guys, welcome back. So today I will do a short guide for the Raider Blade Blast Bladefall build, and this is the low budget version. Also credits to Lily and some others I have referenced from POEninja. Okay, let's get started. Okay, a short introduction. The Blade Blast Bladefall has a good clear speed, and especially on the Raider, which gives incredibly fast movement speed and cast speed. It also gives a good single target DPS because of the multiple blades that will explode within the area, and it just deals a massive chunk of lightning damage if you combine it with Arcane Cloak that I will explain later. And what's best about this build is that it is extremely tanky. It is so tanky with the utilization of Mind over Matter, Arcane Cloak, and high dodge and evasion rates. You can see I've actually screenshot a rough stat of my build over on the left, and the evasion chance is 70%, the attack dodge chance is 67%, and the spell dodge chance is 57%. So on top of that, we also have nearly 5.5k mana and 4k life. So you can just imagine how tanky is it with Arcane Cloak on. Okay, so the only times I have actually died to is Red Tier Maps Ultimatum Challenge. Other than that, I have never died before in normal mapping. So I will say this build is a very good starter build for beginners and also an extremely good league starter. However, this is a 2-button playstyle, so if you are in favor of playing a 1-button build, then try something else or some of my other builds. For the Ascendency, we're going to go with the Raider. Pick up Rapid Assault first. Rapid Assault provides you with 50% increased onslaught effect and grants you permanent onslaught. Next up, pick up the Avatar of the Chase. Avatar of the Chase provides 100% increased onslaught effect and 35% more chance to evade melee and projectile attacks during onslaught. So if you take all 4 nodes including the small passive, it will have an 180% increased onslaught effect. So onslaught already provides you a base of 20% increased movement speed, attack speed and cast speed. With the 180% multiplier, you are actually getting 56% increased movement speed, attack speed and cast speed. Now 56% is really a lot. It is actually very hard to achieve even through your items. Okay, for the third one, get the Quartz Infusion. Quartz Infusion will provide you with 15% chance to dodge attack and spell hits, and it also grants you permanent phasing. So next up, the last, we're going to get the Avatar of the Veil. Avatar of the Veil is, it provides you immune to elemental ailments while phasing. So you already have permanent phasings, which also means that you are permanently immune to elemental ailments. And on top of that, nearby enemies have fire, cold and lightning exposure. Next up, I'm going to talk about the Pantheons and Bandits first. For the Pantheons, get the Soul of the Lunaris and also the Soul of Gufku. Both will provide additional physical damage reduction and also increased movement speed. For the Bandits, my personal opinion is just kill all. Otherwise, alternatively, you can save Crackling and have the 6% increased attack and cast speed, 3% chance to dodge attack and 6% increased movement speed. For the skill tree, there's really nothing much to talk about. Just get the paste bin and put onto the path of building to have a look. However, these are the important keystones that we are going to take. The acrobatics and phase acrobatics for your dodge, wind dancer for additional damage reduction, supreme ego because we are going to only use 1 aura, the agnostics because we are using mind over matter, we are going to utilize mana, so mana is going to heal our life. Mind over matter for the damage reduction to mana first, and then elemental overload for the extra additional spell damage. I will now go through the skill gems. For the 6th link on our body armor, the Blade Blast, we're going to go with Blade Blast, link with Controlled Destruction, link with Elemental Focus. Elemental Focus because we just want the raw elemental damage, we don't really need the shock. And then Archmage because we are using mana, Intensify and Lightning Penetration. And for the helmet, which is your Bladefall, we're going to link Bladefall with Spell Cascade for more range, concentrated effect, and Unleash to cast Bladefall more often. For our first weapon, we're going to have a curse, link Stormbrand with Hex Touch and Conductivity, so that the boss will be cursed much easier. And for the weapon 2, you can use cast when damage taken. This is actually very optional, so there are 2 alternatives. Yeah, the first is cast when damage taken, link with Vortex and Bone Chill, just in case there are lots of minions in Ultimatum and one of them will guarantee to hit you. So the Vortex and Bone Chill will get you out of sticky situations. And for the second alternative, just use cast on death and portal. Yeah. And okay, so for the gloves, these gloves will be the utility portion. We're going to have Sigil of Power linked with Flame Dash and second wind, so that we can have 2 charges for Sigil of Power and Flame Dash, and increased area of effect for our Sigil of Power, so that the area will be much bigger in when you're doing Ultimatum or when you're doing bosses. Okay, so for our boost, this will be our defensive skill. Arcane Cloak is going to link with second wind, Arcane Surge and increased duration. This will give us lesser cooldown for Arcane Cloak and immediately trigger Arcane Surge for our mana regeneration and increased spell damage. So we're going to use the Unset Ring, which is the Essence Worm. I will talk about it later. And the aura, we're going to use Rough. So this is the one and only aura that we're going to use this build, because we are using the mana variation. For the jewels, get a Clear Mind. Clear Mind provides increased mana regeneration rate and a very high increased spell damage while no mana is reserved. So no mana is definitely reserved on our end, because Wrath is going to be socketed into Essence Worm, and Essence Worm will not reserve any mana. For the base jewel, get one with at least 1 mana modifier and 1 damage modifier. An example is shown over here. For the weapons, we're going to go ahead with the Void Scepter, and we are going to craft it ourselves. So step 1, buy 2 clean Void Scepter or any other elemental damage scepter if you can't find a decent one or it's too expensive for you. Step 2, use Deafening Essence of Way on the first scepter. So what Deafening Essence of Way gives, it gives increased spell damage. I think it's about 80 to 90%. I can't really remember, but I only know that this is the best one. And for step 3, use a Deafening Essence of Scorn on the second scepter. So Deafening Essence of Scorn will give you increased critical strike chance on spells. Okay, so step 4, check if there are any open suffix or prefix slot, and then you can craft any of the following below. There really isn't a best in slot, because it really depends on what additional modifier your essence is going to give you. So just craft anything that is available in the list of prefix and suffix I have provided. For the helmet, we're going to go with the Crown of the Inward Eye. This is definitely very good. It provides us very high increased amount of damage as well, and also the increased maximum life and mana. Okay, so if you have issues getting this, the alternative is to just buy a helmet with life, mana and resistance. For the body armor, there are actually 2 options. So option number 1, you can get a corrupted armor, get a 16 corrupted armor with the correct colors, and the correct colors is 1 green and 5 blue. So the stats on the corrupted armor can be anything, because we are only aiming for the correct 6 link colors. So option number 2, you can craft it yourself. Step 1, get a 6 link uncorrupted dex and in armor with any modifiers or even clean. So example will be the Carnal armor. You can see there's 88 dex and 122 in. This is the best base because it provides maximum mana as well to the implicit. Okay, so step 2, use Orb of Alterations until you get the modifier to maximum mana. So do ensure that the item level is at least 75 and try to get at least 65 mana. Otherwise, just make do with any amount of decent mana. And then step 3, use Orb of Augmentation if there is no suffix slot. So take note, if there's no suffix slot, you can use Orb of Augmentation to try and roll for something lucky. Step 4, use a regular orb to make it rare and just, pray you get some good modifiers. Otherwise, just make do with whatever you have. And then step 5, benchcraft a prefix or suffix modifier. So the best prefix and suffix modifier I've shown over here. The first one is the increased maximum life and maximum mana. The next one is increased evasion and maximum life. So the other one is the suffix. If you are lacking any resistance, you can just craft any resistance on it. I've shown an example over here. You can see I have a 23 mana Kana armor with 68 maximum mana, and then I craft increased maximum life and mana on it. Next is the gloves. Search for the following modifiers on the market. You need to have maximum life, maximum mana, and 2 resistance. So the best base is the fingerless seal glove because it provides the increased spell damage. And if you have any issues finding all 4 of the modifiers, do remember that you can always find 3 instead and benchcraft the last one. Next, the boots. Search for the following modifier. Is similar to the glove. You want to have maximum life, mana, and this round we're going to have the increased percentage to movement speed. Of course, when you are getting a boost, you definitely need to have movement speed, and then get 2 resistance. So the best base is an evasion boost. Otherwise, just make do with anything. And I know that getting these 5 modifiers is quite challenging actually. So if the boost is too difficult to find or too expensive, ignore finding maximum life on it. And same like all the other rare items, if it's too hard to find all modifiers, you can always find one less modifier and benchcraft the last one. For our amulet, we're going to go with Citrine Amulet because we are always lacking the strength and dex. And search for the following modifier. You're going to have maximum life, maximum mana, and for the amulet, only search for 1 resistance. You can search for either fire core or lightning depending on your other equipments that you have gotten. And for the 4th modifier, you're going to have increased mana regeneration rate. So try to get as high roll as possible for this increased mana regeneration rate because there really isn't lots of sources of mana regeneration. For the rings, the first ring, you're going to buy a essence worm. This is what I'm talking about. You're going to put your aura, which is rough, into it, and it will not reserve any mana. So on top of that, it will have a +2 level to rough, which will provide us more lightning damage. And so for your second ring, the best base is a 2-stone ring. And you're going to search for maximum life, maximum mana, and 2 resistance on it, like any other typical rare ring. So example below as shown. And also same like all the other rare items, if it's hard to find, just find 1 less modifier and benchcraft the last one. For the belt, we're going to go with the Stygian Vice. Look for the following modifier: maximum life, maximum mana, and 2 resistance. Okay, I know the Stygian Vice might be a little bit difficult and expensive to find, same like the boots, so ignore finding maximum life on it if you have difficulties. And you can always benchcraft anything, just remember to look out for the extra prefix or suffix slot, otherwise you cannot benchcraft anything. And the additional Abyss Jewel that can be put into the Stygian Vice, search for one that has maximum mana, and any other thing on top of it will be a bonus, I would say. Of course, preferably you want to try and have at least 1 other modifier, and it will be maximum life, added lightning damage while dual wielding, cast speed, mana regeneration, and so on and so forth. There's actually a list I have put in my Google spreadsheet, so go have a look if you are interested. Okay, last but not least, our flask. I'm going to go with the Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline to just go faster. I know that we are actually already going very fast, so this is actually quite optional. You can always change this to another defensive utility flask, or You can always change this to another life flask, but I chose this because I just want to go even faster. Okay, next will be the quartz flask, which will give you the extra 10% increase to dodge, attack and spell, and get the off warding, which will be immune to curse. For the jade flask, get off reflexes, which will have increased evasion, and this is what will make your evasion rate increase very drastically. So fourth, get the sulfur flask for more damage and get off quickening to increase our cast speed. And last but not least, the most important flask, get the enduring eternal mana flask, and it must be the enduring because as you can see from the picture, flask effect is not removed at full mana and flask effect does not kill, so means your mana is constantly regenerating. And try to get off staunching, which will be immune to bleeding and corrupted blood. So as you can see, there is no flask that has immune to elemental ailments because we are going for the raider passives which we are permanently immune to elemental ailments. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video or the build guide. If there are any other related questions, you can always hop by on my Discord to ask. So this will be my final or last build guide for the league. I've been really very busy with work lately, and that's all. So yeah, do remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you would like to see more contents from me. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!